Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance still coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to Picking Up the Pieces. Tonight we got some stuff to cover. Obviously, how was your first day back at work, Prince Magnum? What was it like going into your old store and everything else? I know a lot of you got a lot of questions. A lot of you, um, have a million questions. And initially, I wasn't going to go live for another 10 minutes, but I thought, no, fuck it. Let's go ahead and go. That way, because I'm still expecting a few phone calls and things like that later on. Okay. So we got a lot of ground to cover. All right. So I know a lot of you, have got a lot of questions: how to go to work, what was it like, have you heard anything? We're going to cover that quick. We'll do this again later in the week. We're cutting this series back to about 3 times a week, so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing and how I'm putting the pieces back together, and kind of that sort of thing. So I know a lot of folks are going to have a lot of questions. Bear with me, okay? Because we got a lot of ground to cover, okay? Um, Again, I know for a lot of you out there, when are you going to be doing that podcast? We're going to cover that, or that the plan that I'll be doing that podcast. Again, we got a lot of ground to cover for this week. But like usual, we'll wait about 5, 10 minutes into the stream, and then we'll start talking about the big stuff. Okay. So again, we got a lot of ground to cover. Um, First and foremost, again, today was my first day back on the job. It was nice to get back to work. I did not suspect that I would be doing my old job again and all of that. Um, I didn't suspect any of that. I didn't know that I was going to be doing that sort of thing. Um, I just knew that there would be a chance that I would, that I was going to be doing something in some maintenance department. I just didn't suspect that it would be in one of my, where I worked before. What's going on, Zero? Good to see you. Um, you know, um, so that's kind of the gist of that. So we do have a lot of ground to cover tonight. I know there's going to be a lot of questions and that sort of thing. We're going to do our best again to answer as many of the questions as possible tonight because I know a lot of you have got questions, okay? And I probably look a lot better now that I got a clean shave going on. Yeah, it does feel a lot better. Um, I'm one of those guys. I like that clean shave. I like it. I like that smooth baby face thing going on. I don't like keeping myself, scruffy looking. It just doesn't look right on a guy like me. That's an opinion. It just doesn't look right on me. Um, when I'm clean shaven, I look young. Okay, I look good. Okay, so share out the stream because I know a lot of it saves a lot of headaches when people are in here and they can ask their questions right offhand. Um, it saves a lot of headaches. So we're gonna wait the usual, see how many folks. Mm, mm, mm. Some guys do look better with a beard. Some guys do look better with a beard. I know for me, personally speaking, I don't look, I don't look as young when I get all scruffy. Actually, I still look young, but it's one of those things that I, I, I look sick when I start getting scruffy, and I don't like the feeling of it. To be honest with you, I like being able to, like that. And I'm gonna tell y'all, okay, because being a hopeless romantic still, when I would get a clean shave, I would still, for the longest time, I would go up to Princess Faye, and I would kind of do that number to her face. Really. And I don't mind looking young. I kind of enjoy that. Matter of fact, there was a gal that she's getting ready to turn 50, that I met today that's working in that location, and she's was talking about how she was getting ready to turn 50, and I started laughing. I said, "You're not going to believe how old I am then." She's like, "How old?" I said, "I'm 42." And she's like, "There is no way you are a freaking 42-year-old man." I said, "I am." She's like, "Wow, I thought you were in your 20s." She's like, "Mid 20s." She's like, "You are aging very gracefully." She said, "I wished I'd have been aging like you." You know, so it was really nice of her to say. I appreciate the compliment. So as folks begin to make their way in, I know again there's a lot of questions. Hang on to those questions for just a second because we're gonna have a lot of ground to cover. For you guys. Um, oh, you know what? I keep telling everyone I hope I go completely gray haired and I stay young looking so what they won't know whether to card me or give me a senior citizens discount. Be honest with you. I'm telling you, man, they won't know whether I'm coming or going. But the real deal is that you know I'm grateful that I look young, but that's just one of those things. I do look a lot better clean shaven. Okay, let's get on with brass tacks. Usually we wait about like I said, 5-10 minutes in that ballpark area. We're about 7 minutes into the stream. Okay, first day back at the job. I went in at 6 o'clock. Now tomorrow I go in 4 to 11. That's pretty much my shift from 4 a.m. So I'll be leaving here at home 3:30 every morning. Okay, I'll jump into Project Lena, drive all the way there, and do my thing. 11 o'clock, I clock out, go home. Okay, that's pretty much going to be my life again. Okay, I just won't have to drive as far as I was before. Now, really quick, for those that don't know, you know, for those that don't know, uh, you know, I'm a maintenance man again for McDonald's. Okay, now that's the career side of it. That's one of the career jobs. Okay, that's one of the career jobs, and I know some people look down their nose at the fast food industry. Zelda is literally just a few feet away there, Queen. Good to see you, Queen Bee. She's right there. Might help if I get the camera. If I was a professional, I'd do a better job at that. But anyhow, so really quick for those that don't know, Zelda will come out here and poke her head out there, and she's still she's still looking for Galaxy. Okay, she's looking for her buddy Galaxy. They were buddy buddy all the way to the end. So she comes out here and she looks for her. And she'll sit out here. She might sit up here, look at the birds and everything else. But when she's poking her head out through there, she's looking for Galaxy. What it boils down to. So it was good to get back to work. It feels a little weird going back to work, where I kind of, yeah, going back to work where I basically was so angry I left. I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to be in that store anymore. So it's a little weird. But, let's just say hell froze over today. So hell just froze over today. All right, plain and simple. No other way to put it. Hell just froze over today. Um, but they had questions. Yeah, she's been hopping up there and everything. It's when she was a kitten and got up there the first time. Yeah, I know it is. When she was a kitten the first time, she jumped up onto that railing and she lost her balance, and I had to grab hold of her, and if I didn't grab hold of her, she would have fell. Now, I will tell you all that something that most people don't know about cats, okay? They can fall for extremely great heights and they'll be fine. It's just the way they're designed. Mother Nature was very kind to them because they can take huge falls. But yeah, I had to save her from falling. Yeah, poor little Zelda has not been taking this very well. Nah, I kind of got what you meant, you know. So she's not been handling this very well. Now, so it was good to get back to work. It was really good to get back to work. Yeah, they're designed to take big falls. So I mean, it probably wouldn't have hurt her, probably, but at that age, we don't want to take a chance. Most people don't know Taver's actually, my big fat cat Taver. He's actually, keep telling her that. But any hoop de do. So this whole ordeal has been hard on both the cats. As a matter of fact, that things keep going. Right, we don't know the how she would have handled it. Now, so we've covered that. Okay, we've covered, um, if you will, we have covered. My first day back at work. I've got a rough show ahead of me because when I left that store, I left it in pristine condition. Unfortunately, not so much anymore. It's just the way it is sometimes. And basically, the folks that followed me either did it wrong, or they didn't do it, or they didn't really do it at all. So I've got a tough show ahead of me trying to get this straightened out. Now, I've whipped stores into shape as far as maintenance department goes and getting it looking good and everything. I've done that before. So this is nothing new. However, me too. However, it's one of those deals that right now, as it stands, it's just going to be an interesting show trying to straighten this all out, with that store. Now, starting next week, I'll be at another location too. So I'm going to be working back and forth between two whole stores, and that's just going to be kind of the gist of it, okay? I've got to whip two stores into shape, and then once we do all that, I'll be training people. Absolutely. Job with some money to pay the bills. Now, that doesn't mean we're out of the woods on the finances, okay? There's some finances Princess Faye did not take care of, okay? So, um, I've done stuff like that before. I was going once a week to one location while still working at another, and helping whip that store into shape, and then I would come back and work the rest of the time at the other store. I did it. I've done it before, and I was, so I have a little bit more time to actually focus on the other store, not just one day a week where it was kind of haphazard. So that's the joy of this. That I get a little bit more time in that store to square it up, get it right, and get it to where it needs to be. Because even though the pandemic is on, everyone's like, look, we got to start trying to get back to something normal, I guess you could say. As normal as can be, if that's even a term at this point. Um, so what we're dealing with is that big wigs are going to be coming in. They're going to be doing their inspections like they had been. So now with that situation on our hands, what's going on, J Dog? Good to see you. With that situation in hand, um, what we're dealing with is the fact that if Queen, when I'm inside, I'm using the vape. When I'm out here, yeah, yeah. In this particular case, hey, what's going on, Carla? Good to see you. Uh, so what we're dealing with right now is the fact that, you know, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's what's getting me through. Okay? Yeah. So now that I'm working it, I'm back to work. The finances will eventually take care of themselves because I'm really only you know, keeping the bills paid for myself and a couple of cats, okay, right now. So that will work out. After work today, which I was there for a little while than longer than anticipated, but I when they told me that it was going to be like, they said it's bad, Prince Magnum. It's bad. Oh, it can't be that bad. No, it's bad. I'm going to be working on this for a good minute. It's going to take me a minute to get this straightened out. So they've got, like I said, they've got me going between a couple locations, and I'll be training people probably starting here pretty soon. So I'm basically back to doing what I was doing, but only with a little bit more prestige, I guess you could say. Okay? So that's our situation. So now that we've kind of crossed that bridge, we've got to deal with the finances. We got Project Lena all squared away. Excuse me, I'm burping, burping up ramen noodles and black pepper, okay? I never use the seasoned packets from ramen noodles. Never use the seasoned packets. Too much salt. Understandable. I mean, everyone's got their thing, you know. Everyone's got that one thing that that makes them different. That's just what makes you different, and I can live with that. Yeah. Well, see, the thing of it is while I've been with McDonald's the way that I have, um, about five. See, I was with McDonald's almost 7 years, and almost five of those years was in the maintenance department. Now, when I got first trained, I was okay. The guy who trained me really wasn't that good. I oftentimes joked and said he's got to be from a dairy farm. He's great at milking the clock. That's really what he was good for. He would go around bragging to everybody, "Oh yeah, I trained that guy, Prince Magnum. He's good. He's the best maintenance man I've ever trained." Okay, we'll buy that. But you didn't train me that great. You were actually really poor at training me. I had to learn a lot of things on my own. So there's a lot of stuff that I do that's not in books, just the way it is. So it's kind of like that. I've had time to get good. So now here we go. We fast forward, some years later. I've got all the. Oh no, I get it, man. I get it. I get it. There's certain things in my beliefs. Yeah, yeah, basically zero. So in this particular case, little villain light going on here. In this particular case, he's taking credit for something he really didn't do. I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't teach me the basics. That he did. Okay, he taught me the basics. But after that point, it was up to me to learn a great deal of many things. Okay, so in that regard, I mean, he was right. He was dead on. Okay, so here I am now. Top of the line. Top of the line maintenance. Going back into a store that had running top notch when I left. The guy who took over after me, well, the two guys that took over after me, one of them did things wrong that I'm going to have to repair now. Okay. And another one, his habits made him a little dull. Right. Right. So so that it so one that was doing the job, but he was doing a lot of things wrong. For example, he was using an electric drill with a wire brush and leaving deep gouges in the metal. Well, there's a problem with that. Carbon has an easier spot to find in those deep gouges on the metal. Was finding it makes it easier for it to form in those areas. So he did it wrong. I'm not saying that he couldn't do it that way. He can, but you have to polish it afterwards. Which now I have to talk to the supply manager basically and say, look, these are the things that we need in the store. This is why we need them. I need them here. If we don't get them here, you're making my job 1,000 times harder. So I have to have that conversation with her. Okay. Well, I don't know about the electricity side of it, but I know carbon from, burn, basically oil that's just, stuff that burns in it. Okay. You may be talking computer in this case. And I will be honest with you, I don't know enough about computers. As a matter of fact, electronics is actually one of my least powerful strong suits in automotive. So a lot of times, if there's an electrical issue with a car, I have to take it to a shop because that's a spot where I really struggle. That's just the nature of the beast. Okay. There's some guys that are absolutely okay. Okay. So that's some of the stuff that we're dealing with now. So it's good to get back to work. I'm making almost as much as I was when I left. Um, and I've been treating this as just an extended leave of absence from the job. And that's kind of how they treated it too, for the most part. So I got a big welcome back. Good to see you. Glad you're okay. How's the wife doing? I'm sorry, what's going on? That sort of stuff. So there was a lot of that today. A lot of folks are really kind of shocked. Okay. Uh, they never figured Princess Faye going off the deep end the way she did. Okay. Now, that brings us to I went over, my mom sent some money to take care of, kind of get things caught up, start getting caught up so I can go back to work and everything. And we're still waiting to hear on my grandmother's funeral. Now, folks, I know a lot of you are like, okay, we know you're going to be gone for your grandmother's funeral, that sort of thing. We get it. Okay, fine, whatever. All right. Spirit Wolf, that's a good question, my friend. Okay, let's no, there was the family members that were supposed to go out and set up the funeral arrangements were on quarantine. Okay, pandemic got them, plain and simple. So in essence, no one's been able to do anything. My grandmother's been on ice. Okay, we're expecting that they'll probably get with us over the weekend, and then we could just kind of expect that sometime this next week they're going to be planning the funeral itself. So that's just kind of where we're at on this. All right. I want to get it done and over with. I want to get, I know I'm going to break down. I know all my family's going to break down. 97 years on this earth. She's made a lot of friends, and she's got a lot of family that love her very much. It's going to break all of our hearts, but it's just one of those things. You know, you don't get out of life alive. It's horrible. It fucking sucks. I wish folks could live forever, but some folks could live forever, but it doesn't work that way. At some point, we do need to, I guess you could say, with all of us in life, at some point we need to be swept aside and new needs to come in. New, young ideas, young bucks, those things, whatever you want, however you want to look at it, at some point, even with all of our experience, it is going to be time on this plane for us to step aside. But that means that we're getting a promotion, if you will. You know, when my time comes, you know, absolutely, absolutely zero. You're again, you're dead on. And I know my grandmother's going to have a lot of family there. I am going to be one of them. The boss has already said, look, you let us know the days, and we expect you to go up there, and we don't want to hear no more on it, okay? As far as worrying about it, you just let us know. We will take care of you. Don't worry about a fucking thing, okay? We will take care of you. You know, so that's the gist of it. So Lena is squared away where I can make that trip right now. Now, in all of this, okay, in all of this, Many of you are now wondering, okay, so now you pretty well, you're squared away. Bills are going to get tight for a second. It's going to be a rough show, where, it's just going to be really tough. But here's the thing, we will survive. Okay, we may even lose internet for a couple days, and I'm going to have to rely on what I have to rely on, to let you guys know how I'm doing. It may be a tough show for a couple days. But here's the thing. Let's go in. I smoked all I need to smoke. Let's get back on the vape. Queen Bee will appreciate it more. But here's the thing, okay? Come on. Come on. Well, yeah. Well, Princess Faye was pretty much supporting the household. But with me and just a couple of cats, we can probably bounce back from that pretty quickly. But here's the thing, okay? Today, when I went for the insurance, to do the insurance and everything, all right, let's back up just a bit, okay? There are, if you will, plans in motion right now. Is all of us are here talking, hanging out, that sort of thing. Let me go over some things that you guys need to know, okay? First and foremost, okay, this case on Princess Faye is getting big, okay? Now, this Friday, I know there are plans in motion. Now, that's not to say that something couldn't fall through, but there are plans where I will be doing an interview. Spirit Wolf, you're all right in my book. But let's cross this bridge. First and foremost, okay? This Friday, there are plans where I'll be streamed on a podcast, basically an interview. You guys, a lot of times I think a lot of us here on YouTube sometimes forget I do hold a few unusual, what's the word I want to use? I do hold a few unusual bragging rights. I'm the first content creator in the world, to my knowledge, including the person who's interviewing me, double checking it herself, the only person we know of that has ever done both custom cars and romance. Now, there is a video solidifying that fact, kind of hammering it in stone, if you will. It's right here on YouTube. You can look at it anytime. It's one of the featured videos to the Prince Magnum channel. So we got that basis covered, okay? We are good to go. First in the world. So by bringing me on, I mean, it's like you're interviewing, a trendsetter, if you will. Anybody else who comes along at this point just gets to lavish in my shadow, if you will. As stupid as that sounds, that was fucking stupid. Prince Magnum, don't you ever do that again. Okay. So we've got that ground covered, all right? But now, we have the basis of that romance side of the channel, the important romance bit to the channel, basically running, stuck in that world of mental illness, around family that's going to hurt or what. We will definitely make sure of that. We will definitely make sure of that, and there will be playbacks. Okay, so it's not like you guys won't be able to find it. So I know that the person's going to be doing some sort of an interview sort of thing. You're going to have questions. What happened. Now we all know what happened. Princess Faye is suffering from severe mental illness, fell into the world of drugs and alcohol, and is now around a family that is going to do her more harm than good. Including the fact that, we're also talking about a dad that sexually assaulted her, and if he did it once before, he will do it again, okay? Considering her condition is even more compromised because of the drugs and alcohol. Now, because of this, more folks are now more involved than ever before on this particular subject. What does that mean? some bigger name YouTubers and other just content creators from, you might as well say, all over the internet are now getting involved to the point where you might almost want to say that Princess Faye at this point has her own satellite. Now, when this starts coming down the pipe, the authorities will pick this up. Okay, they will have no choice because right now the authorities are the laughing stock in this, so they're going to do something about it. Now, mental illness has always been this way, and no matter how much they say, well, this state takes mental illness seriously, bullshit. They have always treated it that if you do not get the help that you need for your mental illness and you commit a crime, you're subject to the law. Because at that point, you're still claiming that you are well enough. So, in essence, as all this is coming down the pipe, Princess Faye will be forced into a choice. Either come home and get the help you need, because they're not going to let her stay up there at that point. You know. We will be getting that information out probably tomorrow. I've got to talk with the creator of that podcast to get all of that information. I'll need all of that so I can, relay it properly, which I think she's in she is definitely in Discord. She's in our Discord, so it won't be a problem. She's in our Discord, so she'll be able to get that information. And I'll double check and make sure that she does that. That way we will be able to make sure that everybody will be able to get over there and listen. Absolutely. Thank you guys for that. And so, in essence, a lot of information is going to be coming out Friday. Information that is going to be kind of mind-blowing. Some stuff that we've kind of glanced over, but did it on purpose. Yep. We did it on purpose to kind of, if you will, Easter eggs, I guess you could say, Easter eggs on this whole situation. So basically, once this goes live, lots of people around the world, including in mainstream media, will be aware of this story. So in essence, Princess Faye will just pretty much be able to, you might want to say that she'll have her own satellite dedicated to her. The authorities will probably get involved at that point. Now, what does this mean for her family that pulled all these awful things and that sort of thing? You might as well say that they're probably not going to recover from this. Okay, they're probably not going to recover from all of this, from me shouting it out and doing what I did, which was still legal, and right down to this podcast, which is going to be worldwide. Okay, we're talking listeners around the world. So Princess Faye will be in a situation where it's either come home or we're going to let the ravages of the law do what's next. Okay. I can just about say that I'm surprised I have not gotten a phone call yet. But at this stage of the game, there may, considering some of the stuff that's already transpired in the last few days, we're not going to talk about it here. She's in a situation now where she's basically been placed in that situation where it's like, you have no choice. You have to come home. So today, when I went for car insurance to take care of that, I stipulated that no changes to the policy is supposed to happen unless it's directly through me. She's not able to make those decisions anyways. And I kept her car on the insurance. Okay. So right now, a lot of you are going, okay, well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because considering the situation, when she does have to make that decision and come home, I want her to have insurance in case something happens. Everything's taken care of. Because a lot of states, even if you're in an accident, I know especially here in Missouri, if you're in an accident, even if it was the other person's fault for the accident, if you don't have insurance, it's your ass. Okay? and immediately it becomes your fault. That's not a joke. So you have to have car insurance, and I know there's other states still like that. So rather than trying to figure all that out, she has insurance. Okay, so she's got about a month's worth of insurance, actually a little longer than that. It's not. We won't have to worry about this in car insurance or anything like that until November the 8th. Okay, so I've got time. So in that regard, we are taken care of. All right. Rent is paid up here for another month, that sort of thing. So we're okay as far as that goes. Um, Other than picking up cat food and taking care of the things around the apartment and everything, we'll figure that out as we go. Okay. So that's kind of the gist of what we're dealing with right now. Princess Faye is basically, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So right now, as it stands, Princess Faye has been given her out. But her family is they're in a lot of trouble. Okay. They're in a lot of trouble for all these stunts. There's really nothing that I plan to do for them anyways at this point. If they're willing to do if you got a father that's looking to sexually assault his daughter, I mean, all the way up until she was 18, he was making passes at her, and that little stunt he pulled when she was 14, he deserves every bit of it. Okay. Mom wanting the creepy kid in the basement or someone that she can keep under her thumb because she suffers from, you know, because she suffers from empty nest syndrome. Go get some fucking help. Go hang out with some friends. Do something other than be, you know, a burden to your daughter. Okay. She's got enough problems as it is. All right. And then, you've got a sister that basically wants someone to do drugs with. Okay. you know, and God only knows what she's doing. For all I know, I don't know what you kids do out there these days, shooting drugs in your eyeballs and bullshit like that. I don't know. Okay. I've been out of the scene for too long, and let's just leave it there. Okay. So hell, someone had to explain what fucking bath salts were to me. I had no clue. I've been out of the scene for so long. So the gist of it is that right now, as it stands, which I got to talk to the podcaster, which I hope she's available right after the stream. We're just staying live for about an hour. Um, you know, in a nutshell, Princess Bay has been placed in a position where it's like, look, here are your options. Either A, you face the ravages of the authorities because they're not going to go easy on you for this little stunt. And to give you guys an idea, okay, um, she transported across state lines an illegal prescription medication. Now they will treat that basically at that point, it's an illicit drug. Okay. I don't care if it was something as simple as, a muscle relaxer that's not a narcotic. Okay. You transported across state lines without a prescription. So now you're in the zone of transporting an illicit drug. So you had it in Missouri, you traveled westward, however many states, those states, including Missouri, can now press charges. So you have all these states that can press charges all the way up to Oregon. And that even includes Oregon itself at this point. And because you did this through the United States, you are now facing federal charges. And every town you crossed by can press local charges. So we're looking at basically at this point, if the FBI or ATF wants to get involved, they can. Okay. And she could be facing a minimum at this point for this little stunt, a minimum of 5 years in a federal penitentiary, paying for numerous crimes. And her life is over after that. Okay. Here in the United States, you get something like that, your life is over. You might as well hang it up. You'll never get a job. Yeah. And even if she wasn't on it, you still have the intent to distribute as well, depending on the amount. So we have a lot of crimes created going across country. And then if she had marijuana on her, there's still a lot of states that if you do not have a doctor's prescription, you've got that as well. When's the last time she was smoking? She could driving under the influence. Okay. Anything else she took, driving under the influence. So you guys get it. We're looking at numerous crimes that are about to come to public light in a world view. Okay. So, and yeah, intent to distribute is even worse. So when this goes public, homes are going to be raided. Okay. There's already one guy I know that's up here because of him, that guy Will, that she was working with. He's going to be minus a job, blackballed from working in that corporation forever. He'll be lucky he's allowed to shop there, sort of thing. Along with the manager that talked to our podcaster very hatefully because we are led to believe the way that she was talking that she's doing the drugs too. So, great job, motherfucker. Some folks, I understand, but it's one of those things that as much help is out there now for addiction. I know sometimes we it's like, oh, there's help. And sometimes you got to hit that wall. You got to hit it hard. You got to hit that wall hard. But really, at some point, is it really worth it? Okay. You got to ask yourself these questions. I mean, I know we go over this stuff in sober talk and everything, but really ask yourself if you're predisposed to behavior like that, is it really worth it? And I would hope the answer is no. So be very smart, be very conscientious. You could be one of those folks that if you're not careful, you fall into those trappings. So just be mindful. All right. And evidently my poor wife, well, most people tend to forget that my poor wife was an admitted member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay. And, she actually held the infamous 2-year coin, the one that everyone calls the cursed 2-year coin. She actually held it and then decided she didn't want it anymore. She wanted to be able to have a drink. Okay, fine. We see where that led. I'm beginning to think I should have that motherfucker melted down and then dropped to the bottom of the ocean or some shit like that. That is again, I'm one of 2 people that have carried that thing and never went back out. So now that we've covered all of this, absolutely zero. Again, you're dead on again. But here, let's cross this bridge though. At that point, she really won't have a whole lot of say-so in it, okay? She really won't have a whole lot of say-so because if she doesn't go get the therapy, if she doesn't go get her system cleaned out from the drugs and the booze and all that other bullshit, and then go get the therapy she needs, what will happen is no matter if she comes home or not, she's still going to be facing the ravages of the authorities. Now, the authorities, even at the federal level, will kind of like, okay, you're going to get straightened out, and you almost get a bye. I mean, you'll still have to go in front of a judge, but the judge be like, look, we get it. You're trying to do right. You've got a husband trying to help. If they will let that slide, they'll probably put her on like a bench probation where like, keep your fucking nose clean. All right, motherfucker, keep your nose clean, nose of the grindstone, do right. Okay. Not a problem. And I've seen that happen to numerous of times with a lot of folks where it's like, look, go get straightened out. Now, some of those folks still end up, they keep on keeping on, but not always. Okay. I've seen where it's like, I learned my lesson. I'm doing right. We're on the right track, sort of thing. So that's kind of the gist of what we're dealing with. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, she couldn't try a stunt like that. I'm saying that I'm smart enough to know that if it gets hot enough, she realizes that it's just not worth it, which we've created that aura. And Friday, basically by Friday, we're coming out of the furnace into the smelter, the metal smelter. Okay. It's going to get really hot. It's going to be too hot for her. Okay. Now, there is a couple of people that do theorize that she's going to try to hold out. But at that point, her family can't even keep her there. Okay. They're not going to be able to afford it because The right people in the right places have been called. She's not going to be able to. She's not going to be able to get work up there because there's people being notified up there. The authorities, they're not going to want her there because if she stays there, they're going to have to arrest her. Okay, Princess Faye will not be able to stay there. It's going to be too hot. Too hot. And on top of that, her family is already in enough hot water. They're going to end up handing her money and telling her, get your ass home. It's not worth it. Okay? We can't keep you here. Okay? Because of this stunt. And I also know her family well enough. Because of all this, they're going to turn right around and say, you can't stay here. You ever want to see a supposed civilized family like hers go? Yeah, we're about to see it. They're going to throw her out. They're going to give her money and say, get the fuck out of here. Okay, guaranteed. Guaranteed. So she will have to come home regardless. I'm hoping she's smart enough to bring our cat Galaxy home in one piece. Because, you know, along with all this stuff following her, I mean, she does technically have animal endangerment hanging over her head for this little stupid stunt. And God forbid PETA get their hands on this. Spirit wolf. You know, so that's kind of the gist of it, okay? We basically created an environment where she's not going to be able to keep on keeping on, okay? Now, Soberman and I discussed this, and he says, sounds like you're almost trying to soften the bottom. I said, no, we brought the bottom to her. And we brought a much harder bottom than, basically we sped the process up, okay? We made it go faster because this could be as slow as a fucking stalagmite growing in a cave to get this to the point where we need her, home. But here's the truth of it, okay? Here's the truth of it. What we did is we sped the process up, okay? We've created an environment where she can't keep doing what she's doing. She can't keep on. I know, Zero. I know they do. You know it. I know who we BSing. Yeah, I know. But still, yet, they got a lot of pull still. Okay? So that's the gist of it. All right? We've created an environment where she can't stay. And it's all going to start beginning to crumble down a little bit more over the course of the next. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's going to continue to crumble down for the next few days. It started, I'm going to say probably around Monday night, and it is continuing to crumble as we speak. By Friday, it will be on top of their heads. Okay? So why I haven't gotten a phone call yet, I don't know. There may be a lot of boo-hooing, but it's getting ready to get to the point where they can't keep her there. Okay? The authorities will know about her dad. To the fullest degree of the law, they will find a way. They may not be able to get him on that, but they will find a way. Okay? Whether or not, Princess Faye likes it. Okay? They will find a way. They will find something. They always do. Nobody is squeaky clean in this world, no matter how hard you try. Everybody fractures and bends the law a little bit to the point where it breaks just enough to get yourself into trouble, okay? The life that Princess Faye thinks she went to. We won't go into a whole lot more detail until after the podcast, but let's just say that it's going to be very apparent very soon, even before the podcast, that she can't stay there. It's going to be very apparent. And if Princess Faye is watching and thinks for 1 second that I'm the one that did it, no. Big time creators across the internet are now involved in this case. Folks, you've got to realize I hold the title for being the first content creator in the world to do both custom cars and romance, which most content creators, because I'm in that category of the first, and I try to be respectful to everyone to every degree that I possibly can is going to help because they don't want Princess Faye to be one of those YouTube statistics, which, yes, she was a content creator right here on this channel. They do not want her to be one of those YouTube statistics that doesn't make it, that doesn't make it home in one piece, if you will. Okay? They don't want her to be one of those. And because of the fact that I'm one of the type of content creator that I am, they're going to do everything in their power to help. Okay? Um, and I will tell you, this would probably, if I would get over to TikTok and talk about this a little bit, that most folks would be on board the same exact way, even over there. So, what are we talking about? Again, the character of Cinnamon. There are tons of videos out there of people now thanking Cinnamon or coming onto the TikTok channel and thanking Cinnamon. My wife helped create that. You might as well say, if it had not been for the makeup and everything, hands down, bar none, there really would only be voice acting. And I probably would never have thought to do the voice acting if it had not been for Princess Faye putting the makeup on me in the first place. So you might as well say she is the key that unlocked the character of Cinnamon. So now we have a whole nother ball game here. Okay, y'all following me? Y'all catching what I'm throwing down, sort of thing? Content creators across all platforms do not want to see a talent like this become a statistic. So for Princess Faye, they're going to fight for her just as hard as I am, if not harder, because they don't want this tragedy to happen. And if it means dismantling the lives of the people who are going to hurt her the most, they'll do it. They will do it. Okay? After all, they should be in jail anyways, in my opinion. Okay? No, I get it, Zero. I get it. So you guys, are y'all on board with me here? Okay. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect husband. I have failed Princess Faye numerous times, numerous ways. That's just fucking life. I really wish it wasn't that way, but it is that way. I can't change what I did. I can only change what I'm gonna do. Okay? That's it. I can change who I am. I can change how I do things from here out, but I can't change what I did. Okay? I really wish I could. There's a lot of things I wish I could take back, but I done fucked up. So now I got to live with those fuck ups. Okay? That's the way it works. Again, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect husband, but I sure as fuck try to be a good one. All right? Um, but I won't give up on her as long as she's still breathing. Again, my wife is the most wonderful woman that has ever been born into this world, and I met. She's the most wonderful woman I have ever met in my life. Hands down. A lot of you ladies out there, you are amazing. You're wonderful. You're very special. You're beautiful in your own personal way, but none of you compare to my wife. I married the most wonderful woman in the world. Okay. So, and I know a lot of you out there are like, that's, you're cool with that. You're cool with that. Nobody holds my heart like that woman. That's funny. Well, I can't, I'll tell you all, when Princess Faye started driving again after, her big accident with Project Beauty, which that's a name that doesn't come up on this channel hardly at all anymore. When she had her big accident, I will tell you all that I was really scared to let her drive again. I was really scared to let her drive again. And one of the first vehicles she ever drove again was Project Spirit. I insisted that she learn how to drive stick. And she ended up becoming, actually, in a lot of ways, she actually drives manual even better than me. Okay. And I could drive stick like nobody's business. So that should tell you right there. She is a great driver. Okay. I couldn't necessarily be there all the time to protect her, but I could sure as hell make sure that she could do for herself. So in all of this, once we get her squared away, okay, if she still does not want to be with me, I understand. Okay. Like I said, I fucked up before. And if she can't let that go, then that's her prerogative. Okay. That is her prerogative. That is her choice. Okay. But let's get you squared up first. Okay. I could, and even in all of this, she wants to be angry with me and say, I hate you. You're a lousy piece of, dog snot. And, you're so low, your feet, if you sat on a piece of toilet paper, your feet would dangle. She could say all those things she wants. Okay. Yeah. Y'all heard that one. You know, that anyone ever, starts trolling y'all, if you ever get someone trolling you, just look, you can always just say to them, well, you're so low, if you sat on a piece of toilet paper, your feet would dangle. There you go. That'll get them going. They won't even know what to say to that. Or here's a southern one for you. You're crazier than a rainbow trout in a car wash. That's another old southern one. You're crazier than a rainbow trout in a car wash. Watch him go. Damn. Just the imagery. But anyhow, she can do all these things, but let's get you squared away first, Then, then you could say what you can call me whatever you want. You can hate me for the rest of your life after that. But at least, there you go. That's another good one. Actually, Zero, you may have heard me use it before. I've had a few trolls in the past. I said, I don't swing that way, despite popular belief, but I'm married, so I don't swing that way. But you'll find somebody. You'll find somebody, they'll sweep you off your feet, they'll take you out on a date, they'll buy you a foot long, you'll swallow it whole with your hand on the back of your head, but you'll find that person, don't worry, And right now, I know, Zero, you're just dying from hearing that. That's a favorite one here on the channel. There it was. You laughed so hard. Yeah, there you go, Spirit Wolf. We could start it. You're still like, huh. Yep. Tell someone they're crazier than a rainbow trout in a car wash. Are you picturing that? Don't think on it too long, okay? You got to think of the water's coming down and all around. The fish is bouncing around. Anyhow, bouncing everywhere, So that is the gist of it. We're basically creating an environment where Princess Faye can't stay, but yet she still has somewhere safe to go. We get her home, we get her into treatment, we get her over to afterwards. Then we get her over. I'm gonna actually, the first thing when she gets home, I'm gonna pamper that woman. Okay, I'm just gonna pamper her for a day. Leave me pamper my woman. Then after we're done pampering, the next day we'll go to well, what he's saying there's nothing wrong with protecting your wife. That you won't get any argument out of him that you should. I put this ring on my finger for a reason. Because I love her. If I didn't love her, why would I be willing to take that vow, to be there? Actually, it's supposed to be a $3 bill because the $2 bill does exist. Most people forget that. I can go right over to the here. Hang on a second. $3 bill. Okay, $3 bill. It's a $3 bill. The reason why it's a $3 bill because this does exist. This does exist. Okay. Oh, really quick. $1988. A $5 bill from 1988. So there you go. U.S. currency. Hey, what's going on, Danica? Welcome to the live stream. We're actually slowly beginning to wind down for the evening. Hang on a second here. Since I showed that off, I guess I better show this really quick. Here you go. Don't see these every day. $50 from 1951. A $50 from 1951. That's right. You're absolutely right, Zero. Okay, here you go. A Buffalo nickel. A Buffalo nickel. 1929. That's a Buffalo nickel, 1929. This one's so faded you can't even see the date anymore. Another Buffalo nickel. Quarter, 1948. There you go. A nickel from 1918. Buffalo nickel, 1918. Oh, not really. I got some really unusual ones. Gold dollar. Yeah, you're right there. Looking for some. Another one, another Buffalo nickel so faded you can't even see it anymore. There you go. Quarter from 1942. In the United States, all of your quarters and half dollars, all the way up until 1963, moderators, you want to do some, have some fun with that? Or do you want me to go ahead and take care of this little bit of business? Actually, I'm not even going to wait. Thank you. So, thank you for adding to my watch time. Thank you for wasting everybody's time because we already know better than that. So, I see that. I see that, Zero. Thank you for taking care of that little bit of business. It won't matter what you say come Friday, anyways. Okay? This is going global. And if you want, and that podcaster right now is watching. So be very careful what you put in the chat, pal. I figured somebody wanted to swing a wrench. That's why I always ask first. Y'all want me to handle this? Or do you guys want a chat delay? It's all good. So that is the gist of it. Our podcaster is watching, and she does have some serious abilities, like like you would not believe. Because of her, we'll talk more about her later, because she will get a lot of credit where credit is due when the time is right to talk about it. Okay, so heads up, 7 Up. Well, Danica, you're not all that good right now. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything we could do to help? Anything? Now, tomorrow, we will be getting into sober talk. um, you know, Tomorrow we'll be, you know, doing sober talk. We got a lot of ground to cover there. Um, we're gonna see how I feel. Okay. But along with that, you know, I'm I don't, I'm not, I know what Friday's supposed to look like, but it's one of those things I don't know. We're not there yet. Okay, like I said, I got to holler at our podcaster afterwards, so that's kind of the gist of it. Um, so we've got a lot of ground to cover. Once this all starts kind of coming out, obviously our podcaster is going to get a lot of credit from this channel. Which the irony of all this is that once this also comes out, the channel may get a little bit bigger. Okay, so we're doing good, but we got a lot of ground to cover. Okay, so heads up, you know it's it's going to be an interesting show for a second, but hang in there with me, guys. Keep showing that support. Stay with me. Okay. Um, you know, it's going to take a second, but it's the real deal. All right. So we're going to go ahead and wind it down for the evening. Expect again tomorrow sober talk, to our podcaster. I'm pretty sure you're watching. I know you said you were going to have this up so you can kind of listen to everything. I will give you a holler right after the stream shuts down. Well, I'm going to use the restroom first, then I'm going to give you a holler, and we'll kind of swap information back and forth that you're going to need, along with everything, basically, and kind of go from there, and and just kind of start setting everything up so we know kind of how Friday is going to look. All righty. Because I know this is going to be big. I don't know if it's going to be live or pre-recorded or what. You'll have to walk me through. Okay. But hey, however it goes is however it goes. All right. I'm just excited to finally have the opportunity to make an impact on this, to do something. Okay. I want to bring her home in one piece. I will, Zero. So as we begin to let out, for the evening, I want to remind y'all to keep that, if you've got that someone special, don't take anything for granted, guys. Don't take a single thing for granted. Because about the first time you don't pay attention, it might be that one time that you didn't pay attention, and it could mean life and death. So pay attention to the details. Pay attention to the little bitty things, okay? Because mental illness, drug addiction, they are real, and doesn't make them bad people, just makes them sick, and they need their opportunity to get well once again. So with that all being said, if nobody has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.